Here we go, y'all. Time to start ripping parts off the 93 Kawasaki Vulcan 500 because that's what we're doing. If you were taking this off, I think those are 12. 2 bolts there, and you can knock it off if it's seized. But there's our front caliper. I'm gonna come up here. There's a 10mm here, holding that to that. And then it just strings up across. So all we got to do here, oh, we still have beauty covers. If you have a mirror, now's the time to take it off because you can just twist it off with this mounted on there. It's pretty easy. But got your beauty covers, don't crack them, which this one came off clean. What? And then I dropped it in the engine, and that's not, oh man, it's down in there. It's not metal, so I can't like use a magnet to get it. That was dumb. See? Do this without a camera in your hand and you'll be fine, and you won't go dropping things. There, it's like working in a mouth as a dentist, pulling little things out. So now you got 2. That's supposed to keep water and corrosion out of there and make it prettier. What is that, 5? What do we got? We have a 5mm. That's a 6. It's not that. Nope. Gotta grab the 5. Okay, there we go. Yep, usually they're 5mm. There we go. I like to put it in there, find the right size, and just pull it out. And then you can get it loose real easily. So this is how easily your front brake can come off. I only have a few minutes today, so I figured we'd start with this, take pictures of it, and list it on eBay unless anybody needs it. As I said, this still works. This might actually work, but it's frozen on the bottom. We'll sell it as a lot. Make sure you pull off your light here. I should have done that before I loosened it up. It'd be way easier. It's not gonna be hard if I had 2 hands. There we go. There's that. It looks clean too. Okay. So, just make that looser. You're gonna have to take these completely off. There, we already have one. Till it releases. And like I said, you should be using 2 hands. There's your bracket. Don't lose that stuff. I got a fish out a little piece with a needle nose or something. And then this goes down there. And I got to go get my 10mm bolt out of that mount. Now we're going to situate this so that it looks clean. Looks clean. Well, looks pretty. And yeah. Anyway, I already had a picture done, and we're going to show everyone what we got. And then list it. I like to compare what's been sold on eBay. And if anybody needs this, let me know. I won't list it there. I'll give it to you. I'll sell it to you. So, take another picture of this. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the beauty covers back on there. I should clean this. That would represent me better. Represent this part better. Okay, well, 1 beauty cover. See if I can fish this one out of there. Again, 1 hand. Man, I could do it. I think I touched it. Let me grab that, and there we are. I'll go take a picture of these with it so everybody knows that these are there. There you go. See if they notice it. Get a close-up of the seized brake caliper so no one thinks they're getting a good one. I'll clean it up just to prove that it does. That actually cleaned up real quick and real easy. Just wiped off. So I had to take new pictures. Like I said, gotta represent the part, even if it doesn't function. Gotta make it look good. There we go. How's that? Oh, it's not bad. It's a pretty good photo. All right, on to the carburetors. Again, shouldn't be that hard since there's no air box. That's what makes it hard. So fuel lines are already disconnected since we don't have a fuel tank on here. So pretty much just loosen up your air boots. We might need to take off those, but probably not. You know, loosen these, probably just push it back. It should just pop off. Gonna have throttle cables to worry about, but I don't think we're gonna have much of an issue getting these off. I should have done this one so I could take all this off together. Maybe I will. Then I can just pull that off the engine. So now I gotta tighten the other one back up. So loosen that so that these boots are loose. And I bet you, just by pulling up on that, oh, here's the choke. The choke is free. That's a good sign. These carbs might be kind of valuable. I don't know. I don't even look for parts on this bike yet. Before I buy a bike, usually I will look at what the parts are valued at, or if it's a good enough deal, I'll just go get it. So now, can I do this with one hand on camera? I could probably just pull this back and get it off. Let's do it off camera. I can literally see it flexing here, so I decided just to loosen that one. And then it popped right off. Yes, I used a light pry bar, just a little bit of light pressure, because you can break stuff. You don't want to, but you can pretty easily. So carbs are free. Now this bike needs to go inside or be covered, because we don't want anything getting in there. There is a vacuum line down here from somewhere. That's probably from the crankcase. I don't know. I'm just saying words. Okay, let's go and pop this out. Like I said, this side's gonna have our throttle lines. Here's a breather tube. And if those pod filters don't get in the way, which they are, oh, I'm gonna get it out. I'm just gonna pull it out. Look how easy that is. So that's one reason to have pod filters. I don't even know where the air box would have been. Did you hear that? Something fell off. I don't know what it was. Here's a breather line that we'll just put back on there. That probably goes up top to there. This one goes into emissions. Oh, this is the same on the Ninja. Yeah, it's the same engine. That's like emissions, air filter stuff. So carbs are free. We have to disconnect this. Just take 10mm nuts here, loosen these, loosen that bracket. We'll get the throttle off. This can go with it. And what is this? White stuff? That's a little weird. Looks like might be something that somebody put in there to slide it into the boots, because it's in the both boots there. Okay, now we can look at our carburetors. They're simple, they're easy. There's two of them, and they're free. So let's just pop this off. This line, there we go. These hoses aren't great because they've been sitting in the woods. And now the throttle tube. I pulled this sucker inside and disconnected the throttle cables. Obviously, turn down these nuts until you can get it past the brace on both of them. This one has a piece of tape on it, probably letting them know it's the push-pull. This would be the pull, I think. But anyway, this is where we're frozen. This is where we're frozen. So I laid it on the seat here, thinking I can lay the carbs there and flip them upside down, move them all around. And gasoline started pouring out of them. So we have gas in these carburetors, which is great. That means they're not, well, doesn't mean they're not gummed up or terrible, but this is where we're seized. These cables are rusted. They're not moving. Does that mean that these are fine? I'm not saying they don't need cleaned, but does that mean these aren't seized? Oh, they work completely perfectly. The carburetors are good. With that throttle, we already checked the choke and everything. So I guess now we got these beautiful air filters on there. You hear my sarcasm? I don't tune bikes for that. I just don't. So I'm not familiar with them. Oh yeah, we had gasoline dumping out the air tube, the overflow here. So gasoline just leaking out everywhere. What we'll do now is we'll take these filters off now that we can easily get to them. We'll pull them off, and we're gonna take these float balls off, and they've already leaked out, so whatever. But let's see what's inside. Here we go. Got the filters off with the screwdriver. That was easy. Basically just unhooked that and it came right off. You can see nasty old gas leaking out. I'm not really concerned about that. But now we can see in here at our slides, they actually function good too. Okay. Well, they're dirty a little bit, but they're actually working. Okay, slides and throttle plate work. I took the vice grip and I just broke all these screws free, and now we should be able to take this Phillips head. I know JIS would be preferred, and I should be able to get these all off. Woo. I'm gonna do that, and we will pop these bowls off and see what's going on inside the float bowls. I moved to the good table and we're still leaking fuel, so gross. Those all came off pretty easily, so we know this doesn't leak. Here are your idle adjusters. Here is your, well, this is to set your idle throttle. This is the throttle plate adjuster. That's gonna do that. And then these are your idle jets. I'm using the wrong words. I haven't done a carburetor on channel for a while, but this would be the ports to adjust how much gas is coming in. Sometimes it's air fuel mixture. That's what it is. This would be gas, I believe, telling how much gas to come in on idle. And then this sets your throttle plates. So anyway, let's get past that. I don't know what this is. It's a little, it's actually threaded. So, okay, we're gonna check and see what these float balls look like inside. The gasket actually looks really nice. There's some gunk, but the gasket stayed on there. This sat at my place for how long? The CB sat outside for 5 years. This wasn't that much behind it, but that really looks clean inside. Your main jet, there's a jet down in there. Usually there's your idle jet, but I don't see anything going on there. We'll have to look at a schematic of this. All right, next one. I'm losing my voice, guys. Gonna pull this off and check this one. Like I said, that's a pretty nice, it looks like somebody rebuilt these carburetors before I got it. All right, gasket came off with it. Again, pretty clean. Gasket looks decent. This wasn't leaking. This one looks even better. Even better than that one. Well, this is really good for a carburetor that has sat for many years. 20 years? Let's go look at that again. Now that I'm talking about it, there's our tank, our side covers. The Woods project bike is really surprising me. 2004, 2005, 20 years. This thing sat in the woods, and then it was found in the woods, pushed up to a house. They got it running, claimed to have ridden it around, and then let it sit again. I don't know how many years ago that was, but I bought it 5 years ago, something like that. But we're really looking very nice. This even, yeah, it's been nicked up a little bit. Looks like 126 is the main jet. There's even a number right there on the end. That one looks a little dirtier. Yeah, someone had a little bit of trouble getting those out, but hey, it's just cosmetic, because what's important is the holes inside. So this thing could have run, probably. Actually looks pretty decent, and everything's free and working. And we could clean this up a little bit and sell it for some good money. I don't think I'm gonna put it back on the bike. I'm gonna start selling parts that I can. We'll see. If nothing sells, then hey, we'll get it running. But right now I need to clean this off so it doesn't stain my table. All right, guys. Well, that's a good look inside here. I'm assuming the uppers is looking just fine. You shouldn't have gas in there unless I just put gas in there because I flipped it upside down. But if those slides inside are going up and down and returning, that tells me the rubber inside's probably in good shape. I will open it up and look at it. But yeah, looks pretty good. Somebody put a new hose on there. Not bad. All right, guys. Inside the carburetors, we got it to almost turn over. So I'm positive this bike could run if we were to put the time into it. Like I said, too many projects, too much going on. I think we'll just end with that. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and we'll keep tearing down this bike. But carburetors look decent. That's gross. Let's clean it up. I'll see you later. Get out and ride, or fix your Woods bike.